The aroma of pepperoni and melted cheese filled Matt's small kitchen. Empty pizza boxes lay scattered on the table, remnants of a feast. Matt, Tom, and Harry, 3 friends since childhood, were finishing their weekly pizza night. Laughter and friendly banter filled the air, a stark contrast to the chilling adventure that awaited them.
I tell you guys, this lake is truly haunted.
Tom said, his eyes gleaming with excitement. He leaned forward, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper.
They say a whole family drowned there 100 years ago. Their spirits still roam the woods and the water.
Matt grinned, his fingers drumming on the table.
That's why we should film it. A real-life ghost story, caught on camera.
He pulled out his phone, scrolling through a website.
Look, people say they've seen strange lights, heard screams.
Harry shifted uncomfortably in his seat. He hated scary stories, and the idea of actually seeking out ghosts sent shivers down his spine. But he didn't want to appear scared in front of his friends, especially not Tom, who seemed to thrive on adrenaline and chills.
Come on, Harry, don't be such a scaredy cat. It'll be an adventure. We'll be famous if we catch something on film.
Matt nodded eagerly.
Yeah, Harry, it'll be epic.
He pointed to the website on his phone.
Look, people say the lake is frozen over this time of year. Imagine the shots we could get.
Harry hesitated, his heart pounding in his chest. He knew he should say no, that this was a bad idea, but the words seemed to get stuck in his throat. He didn't want to disappoint his friends, and a small part of him, a tiny flicker of bravado, wanted to prove he wasn't scared.
All right, let's do it.
He mumbled, trying to sound braver than he felt. He avoided their eyes, hoping they wouldn't notice the tremor in his voice. Later that night, as they drove towards the outskirts of town, Harry's fear began to grow with every passing mile. The headlights of Matt's truck cut through the darkness, illuminating the deserted road ahead. The woods loomed on either side, their dark silhouettes like menacing giants against the night sky.
You sure about this, Harry?
Matt asked, glancing at him. Harry tried to smile, but it felt more like a grimace.
Yeah, I'm good.
He lied, his voice tight with apprehension. He wished he had stayed home, curled up on the couch with a good book. Anything but this. Tom, oblivious to Harry's fear, hummed along to the radio, his eyes sparkling with anticipation.
This is going to be awesome,
he said, cranking up the volume. They parked at the edge of the woods, the silence of the night pressing in around them. The air was heavy with the scent of pine and damp earth. The only sound was the rustling of leaves in the wind. As they gathered their gear flashlights, cameras, and a thermos of coffee, a figure emerged from the trees. It was an old man, his face etched with wrinkles, his eyes dark and intense. He leaned heavily on a gnarled walking stick.
What are you doing here?
The old man rasped, his voice hoarse.
Just taking a walk.
Matt said casually, trying to hide his unease. The old man shook his head slowly.
This is no place for young folks at night, especially not this time of year. The lake, it remembers.
A shiver ran down Harry's spine. He wanted to turn and run, but his feet felt rooted to the spot. Ignoring the old man's warning, they ventured into the woods. The trees grew denser, their branches intertwining overhead, blocking out the moonlight. The path, barely visible in the darkness, wound its way deeper into the heart of the forest.
Did you see the look on his face? He was serious, guys. We should go back.
Relax, Harry. It's just an old man's tale, probably trying to scare us away.
Yeah, don't be such a chicken, Harry.
They continued on, the forest growing colder, the air thicker with an oppressive silence. Harry felt a growing sense of dread, a feeling that something was watching them, its unseen eyes following their every move. Finally, they emerged into a clearing. The haunted lake lay before them, its surface a sheet of glistening ice that shimmered faintly in the moonlight. A cold wind swept across the water, sending ripples across its surface.
Wow, it's beautiful.
Even Harry had to admit the lake was captivating, but its beauty was laced with an unsettling eeriness that sent shivers down his spine.
Let's get some shots of the lake, then we can check out the other side. I heard there's an old abandoned cabin over there.
As Matt filmed, Tom turned to Harry, a mischievous glint in his eye.
I dare you to swim across.
Are you crazy? The lake's frozen.
Not all the way. I bet you $10 you won't do it.
Harry hesitated, torn between his fear and the need to prove himself. He knew it was foolish, reckless even, but the dare hung in the air, a challenge he couldn't seem to resist.
Harry, it's perfectly safe to swim across the haunted lake at night. Just do it, Harry.
Yeah, do it, Harry.
He pulled off his jacket and shoes, the cold air biting at his skin.
Dude, you're actually doing it?
Harry ignored him, his gaze fixed on the dark water. He took a deep breath and dove in. The icy water shocked his body, taking his breath away. He surfaced, gasping for air, the cold seeping into his bones.
This is insane.
He started to swim towards the other side, his arms heavy, his movements sluggish in the frigid water. Suddenly, Harry felt something brush against his leg. He stopped, his heart pounding in his chest. He looked down into the murky depths, but he couldn't see anything.
What is it?
I don't know.
Harry's voice trembled. He started to swim back towards the shore, his movements frantic. Something grabbed his ankle, pulling him down. He kicked out, trying to break free. But the grip was too strong. He screamed, but his voice was swallowed by the water. Matt and Tom watched in horror as Harry disappeared beneath the surface. The water bubbled for a moment, then fell still.
Harry!
Matt shouted, rushing to the edge of the ice.
Harry, where are you?
But there was no answer, only the silence of the night and the eerie stillness of the lake.
He's gone.
Tom whispered, his face pale with shock.
He's actually gone.
Matt grabbed a long branch and started poking at the ice, hoping to find a break in the surface. But the ice was too thick. There was no sign of Harry. They searched for hours, their calls of Harry's name echoing through the empty woods. But he was gone. Vanished without a trace. As dawn broke, they stumbled out of the woods, their clothes torn, their faces etched with fear and exhaustion. They went to the police, but their story was met with skepticism and disbelief. Without any evidence, Harry's disappearance remained a mystery. Matt and Tom returned to the lake several times, desperate to find some trace of their friend, but they found nothing. It was as if Harry had simply vanished into thin air. A few weeks later, Matt found the memory card from his camera. He had forgotten all about filming their adventure. With trembling hands, he inserted the card into his computer. The footage was blurry and shaky, the sound distorted, but it was clear enough to see what had happened. Matt watched in horror as Harry disappeared beneath the surface of the lake, pulled down by an unseen force. But that wasn't the most terrifying part. As the footage continued, a figure began to emerge from the water. It was tall and skeletal, its eyes glowing an eerie green in the darkness. Matt slammed his laptop shut, unable to watch anymore. He tried to delete the footage, but it wouldn't erase. It was as if the footage itself was cursed. To this day, no one knows what really happened to Harry that night. Some say he drowned, his body lost in the depths of the lake. Others whisper that he was taken by something sinister, something that lurks beneath the surface, waiting for its next victim. The footage remains on Matt's computer, a chilling reminder of the night their adventure went horribly wrong. But no one can bring themselves to watch it to the end. The fear is too great. The truth they know is far too terrifying to face. The memory of that fateful night haunted Matt and Tom. They couldn't shake the feeling of unfinished business, a need to say their goodbyes to Harry. With heavy hearts, they decided to return to the haunted lake to pay their respects. The air was thick with an unsettling silence as they approached the lake. They stood at the edge, the water eerily still, reflecting the overcast sky. Tom pulled a single rose from his backpack, and with a solemn nod, he tossed it into the lake. It floated for a moment before slowly sinking beneath the surface. Just as they turned to leave, a chilling whisper echoed around them. They froze, their breath visible in the sudden drop in temperature. The whisper grew louder, more insistent, and then they saw it. Harry's ghostly figure emerging from the water, his eyes filled with sorrow and anger. Terrified, Matt and Tom ran, their footsteps echoing in the stillness. They stumbled upon a cave, seeking refuge from the haunting vision. Little did they know, this cave was no ordinary shelter. It was a gateway to another dimension. As they ventured deeper into the cave, the walls seemed to close in around them. The path twisted and turned, and in their panic, they took a wrong turn. The air grew thick, and a strange light enveloped them. They tried to turn back, but it was too late. They were sucked into another dimension, their screams echoing into the void. To this day, no one knows what happened to Tom and Matt. The only trace left behind was the rose floating on the lake's surface, a chilling reminder of the night they vanished. Some say their spirits are trapped in that otherworldly dimension, forever lost. Others believe they are still searching for a way back, their voices carried on the wind, a ghostly warning to those who dare to approach the haunted lake.